One thing I noticed when reading Macbeth was the way the desire for power and authority can like corrupt and completely change someone, um, who someone is, causing them to turn on the people they were once close to. Um, and I thought this was pretty meaningful. Show how like dangerous the need and like how dangerous a power like person in power can be, I guess, and like what that can do to like their mindset on things. Um, a perspective that I believe is being represented in this play is always to be humble per se, because eventually his tyrant, like Macbeth, turns into a tyrant, and like eventually leads to his like dismay and like his death. And he shows multiple signs of like he just keeps on wanting more and more and more um, for his power. Once after the witch's like prophecy or stuff like that, and it just completely like, corrupts him per se. And another view value slash perspective I believe is being represented is the ambition and slash hard work throughout this play that Macbeth seems to be trying. Although he's like doing it in like ways to um, that like aren't necessarily like healthy for like relationships and stuff like that with people, but he does try to like better himself and like not just like be stagnant. He's like working hard at trying to change his like being, although like it just ends up being like what he shouldn't be doing is just taking all the power. A quote I circled was when Lady Macbeth said, the Raven himself is Horus." And after doing like further research, I figured out that the Raven was actually the bird for death, and and it foreshadows when Lady Macbeth is like talking to him about killing King Duncan, and just thought it was an interesting quote to start that line. Throughout the play, Lady Macbeth seems to take on a more of a masculine role, seemingly being more dominant in her marriage. She also wants to take on more masculine qualities. At one point in that same quote, she said she wants to unsex me to be crowned from like head to toe, and take more initiative in killing and like take like kind of takes the initiative and direction in killing King Duncan. And these depictions suggest that like Shakespeare didn't really believe and follow traditional gender roles, and uh, like throughout the play, like the witches meant like they were like ugly because they had beards and stuff like that. Um, so I guess like it wasn't necessarily like women had like power in this as well. Throughout the play, Lady Macbeth seems to take on or I think the idea of men playing the woman's part allowed Shakespeare to write in a way that gave females more power and depicted them as having masculine mentalities to different situations. And I think the audience would see a man on stage, um, and like kind of like his voice and stuff like that. He'd still be like a man, and he'd still have these like masculine qualities. A few questions I have are: why are the witches referred to as the Weird Sisters? And two, what do you think the overall theme of Macbeth is?